And one of the things that pushes people to make their bonsai better is the goal or slash threat of showing a tree. And it makes you push yourself to make your tree better. If you're not pushed, a lot of times, unless you're a natural at it like Peter is, then your trees don't advance as quickly as they should. And one of the headaches that people run into is, well, what do I have to do to show a tree? But before you even get to show a tree, you have to select the right container. And that's a very difficult thing for me to do. I can narrow it down to 5 or 10 or 20 pots. Which one do you use? It's a very difficult process. And there is a correct way to do it, and there's a average way to do it. So anyway, Peter's been doing bonsai probably about a dozen years now, and he picked it up when he was in the Air Force in Okinawa, and he was somewhat fascinated by it. And then when he returned home in 1994 and he bought his dream home, he had a front yard. Those of you that have been to his house, he has a beautiful front yard. Well, you should see the photograph from it from when he got Landscape of the Year for West Covina. So this is a landscape that has been trimmed and pruned meticulously. And he got awards from U.S. Senator, State Senator, the Mayor, Board of Supervisors, and I think his wife took him to dinner. And so anyway, Peter's one of these, he has kind of a natural talent for bonsai. He's worked with Harry Farrell, Tachimatsu, and many others. He's done a lot of digging with Harry, so he's done a lot of work with Japanese black pine. He's done a lot of work with California juniper in the big size. And he saw kind of a dearth of people doing shogi, so he decided to get into shogi. And he has now a collection of several hundred very nice trees, anywhere from the beginning stages all the way up to a very good show quality trees. So Peter is going to do it.
Thank you, Charlie. Am I on?
Oh, yes. One other thing, Peter also does a lot of grafting. And anybody who's seen his twisting of pines and junipers, the technique that's been around a long time, Peter does a lot of that also. And he also makes his own pots. So Peter, there you go.
Only, I'll get something. Okay, well anyway, yes I do. Before I begin, in terms about the garden and stuff like that, I've been in Japan by way of the Air Force. But I didn't actually know that what I was doing in my yard is basically my starting in bonsai. Trying to miniaturize all my trees. I have a liquid amber that has big leaves, big trunks, so I cut it down. My neighbor said, "Peter, what are you doing your trees? It's too high." He went all the way down to up to here, and he goes, "Now what?" "Oh, I changed my mind." So I cut it more and rented a stump grinder because I'm just starved of getting the leaves raked by my kids, and you can't pay them $1 here and there. Just picking up the spiky fruit on those liquid amber. I mean, actually, is it liquid amber or sweet gum? It's one of those. I mean, the leaves are like real big. So that's how I started. Believe it or not, that's how I started. I changed all the landscape of the tree. I even did the wiring. I mean, putting the cement work and stuff like that. Wiring, irrigation and stuff like that. It was a lot of work. But I was all pumped up because I want to be the best in that cul-de-sac. But I didn't know that I was like getting them pissed off, because when I was done, it's like, "Peter, where'd you get this?" "Oh, I bought it from Home Depot." And I didn't know also that there are people, in cars running around taking pictures. I mean, it seems like I see them every time. Until I got a call one time like, Peter, you need to come down here at the country club because we want you. We want to present you something. I was like, wow, what is this for? You know, and so sure enough, I didn't know when I came in, I brought my wife. I was just like normal gardener. And they were all a black and tie. And the next thing I see a Channel 5 right there. What's this all about? Now we're like, I'm sitting duck here. And so they awarded me for my hard work on my garden. I got like 5 awards from Barbara Boxer and Tonovitz, the mayor, and so on. It's like, gee. Hey! And it's a hard work, but all it does, it went like this. The love of bonsai or love of trees. So and after that, I was looking for, you know, a different way. I think what I'm doing is bonsai. So I Googled it. Oh, gee, yeah, this is bonsai. And what I was looking for a club, I run into Kofukai. The first thing that got me is, if I join, Harry Hirao will take me to the mountain. Sure enough, the time when I joined in, it was 2004. I think it was 3 years before John Naka passed away or something like that. And I did join. I see a whole bunch of people, a lot of people. And that's what I was waiting for. I was just sitting down right at the back, and everybody was doing stuff like that. Just like when I came in here, a lot of people were doing all kinds of things. But what I was asking is, was it what I was doing at home is totally bonsai? And the answer is yes. It's just a different way of doing it. It's all about the gardening, but miniaturizing, stuff like that, you know. So I started reading books, and while I'm reading books, I'm picking up a lot of stuff from demos and stuff like that, until I finally met Harry. I visited his house, and he asked me, have you ever had a tree? I said, no. You want to come digging? I say, yes. Whenever you have time to call me, I'll be there. And that took a week. He did call me. And the first time I dig, Harry said, Peter, you're out of shape. I was a little bit chunky. And he goes, why, Harry? The trees are all over. No, you want good one? See that tree right there? The next mountain? We're going to go there. You're going to come down and go up. Okay, Harry, now I know what you mean. But we'll go somewhere where it's just, you know, kind of closer. But I didn't know that the place that we went, it is especially for him because it's very, he's old and he doesn't want to climb no more. So we just went out and dig. But nobody goes there except him. So when everybody goes with him, he takes them to the other side. So after that, when I came home, I started jogging. And you know when you jog, the first 3 days, all your body, all sore and everything. And like, gee, what am I getting into? Is this bonsai all about? Well, anyway, to make a little story short, after that first dig, he took me again. And we were like this until he passed away last year. There were 2 people that he called. He had a lot of friends and left and right. He was a very, very generous person. And now I'm getting goosebumps. Which is true because the last 2 people he called is me and Glenn. And they were asking, we know Peter, but who's Glenn? So I finally got to them. You know, Glenn is the guy in San Diego. One of his best friends here is Glenn Jensen. And sure enough, they called Glenn and told Glenn to come here because I don't know what's going to happen because Harry was really, really in bad shape. He had a visitors from New York to take films on him, write stories about him, about his what he did. And I was there with him. There were quite a few people there. My wife was there. And they let us sit by myself with Harry for 3 hours. And I don't speak Japanese, He started with English, then all of a sudden he started talking in Japanese, naming all kinds of people's names. I do remember some of them are older and passed away already. But I noticed that after that, he just, murmuring and stuff like that, not making any sense whatsoever. I didn't know that that day or previous week he had a slight stroke. You can tell by this side because he drooled, and all what we did is he's talking. I had his hand, or he's holding my hand, it's like squishing him, and I was there with him for 3 hours. And I know something's wrong, but I don't know what he meant by just calling us, me and Glenn. Maybe he had a special heart for both of us, because I'm with him. I dug with Harry, sat up top, and making fun of all the people that are digging trees bigger than themselves. Because we see them, we go all the way to the top, and we see people, maybe he's like 5'5", 150 pounds, and they're digging 200 pounds like this. And Harry's getting a kick out of it. But I remember the last word from him, being with him, is that he was telling me, Peter, what about those other people that haven't been to the mountains? I told him, Harry, you've done everything. That's it. Every single people that has that juniper, you made them smile. For those people that haven't got any junipers like that, we are the ones that would take care of it, because we have trees, we have so many, and we'll introduce them to California juniper. We can go anywhere, just ask permission. And that was it, but so that's why when he passed away, I went to the funeral, service, sit right in the corner, but I was deep inside, I was happy that it was all over, and everybody's happy that they pay respect on him. So for Harry, this is for you. I came back in San Diego. Okay. Like Abe Parr said, yes, you have to come back. Why? I had a scar here at one time.
You tried to kill him.
Thank you, Abe. You can't. Anyway, today it's all about the show coming up by April, right? Let me show you. I've been a show chair for a while at Kofu and other clubs. For those people that does show chair, hands down on it. It is hard. I've been there, done that. You imagine coming in, all kinds of stand for accent plants. People would say, okay, I'll show trees, I'll bring them. Not done. Freshly took it from the shelf, just like this. I just took it on my shelf, and both of those. They're not clean. The moss is still the old moss and everything like that. And that's what they do. And all we want is just to put a good show. Because this here, it's what? Twice a year? Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's how whoever picked the job as show chair, it's tough. But what I'm thinking is that it's a combined effort from everybody. Everybody that shows a tree, you want to put the best tree that you have. You can tell if that tree is ready. And not like, I think, maybe I'll just change the moss. No, what I'm saying is, do it 3 months before the show, and not 1 week when the show is coming up like that. And if you need help from anybody else, there's a lot of bonsai teachers here. Ask them; they will help you. And if you don't have the right stand, you can always ask them, and they will provide you something like that. Because all we want is just to put up a good show like that. And so it's a combined effort. But sometimes, if your tree is not in the right pot and everything, then what? So it's not it's not like one of those processes that, okay, I'll put a tree, but I don't know if it's the right pot or so and so like that. So for those people that are beginners like that, I know this club is really, really something else. I came in here quite early, thinking that I may not get a parking space. So I got here, what, 8:15? And there's only one left parking up there on the other side. And when I walk in here, there's so many people already. I think right now in Southern California, this is the best club ever.
Diego Bonsai Club is the best club in the nation.
I'm with you with that. No, it is true. There are other clubs where am I at? Kofu is not like this no more. Ever since Harry passed away, I noticed all I call it the old timers, all of a sudden they're stuck, not coming. It is us new ones that are trying to put the club back, because I did a demo with them January. There were quite a few people. Some of those people that I haven't seen in a while, and hey, what brings you up? And I go, it's you, Peter. I want to know how you rap. You're the one that taught me. and that's why. And so, and so for you guys are doing a good job, and keep up the good work, because there's a lot of new people here. And for the way you guys do your stuff from the beginners all the way to wherever you're at now, I think you're going to retain them. And this is like a mecca. This is here. Okay? Now, I brought 2 trees here. What do you think of the pot right now?
The pot is too big,
Too big.
too much volume.
Can you let me a pot? No. Let me bring another one. Basically, pot selection is one of the important things you want to know when it comes to bonsai, because the harmony between the tree and the pot is very, very important. If you're growing it as a training pot, you probably won't care. The bigger they are, the better. But once you're almost ready to put them on a show like that, this one here, we put them on a show once just to test what other people say. And the only one they notice is that, well, Peter, how'd you get your needles so short? That's the first thing, And I think what happened is I was predicting that, they might say something about the pot, this and that, but it's because of the needles were so short. And all I said, it's all about timing. So it's never been repotted. Actually, 3 years ago was the last time. And so if I want to repot this and put something else, look at the tree now. One guy's here, it's too big. Maybe the lip is so thick. But you notice the foliage of the tree is real white also. So it kind of like accommodate that when I put it. Out of this tree, which one do you think is better? None of them? This one here?
It's quite interesting. When you look at the tree visually, it looks nice. When you look at the image on the wall, the pot that the tree is in looks too big.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting that while it's in proportion to my eyes, correct now, on the wall, it's different.
Yes. Maybe it looks two-dimensional or something like that. And notice all the stuff I read when it comes to drum pot and a rivet pot, trees that are vigorous and stuff like that. So if I put it here, you notice the trunk here is. So in my point of view, I won't want to put it in there because it may look like a stick in a pot. But the way I style this tree, I let it grow and fan everything. And I even haven't selected all the branches that I wanted. I just put them all together for now. Right now, I have so many branches there, but eventually I'm going to reduce it to whatever pad I need. But for me, I probably won't put it here because of the trunk that I have. The girth of that trunk is not as big as I wanted it, but this is a little tree. Purchased it from Tari Inami. And maybe if it's smaller, shallower, without the rivet pot, then maybe.
Excuse me for monopolizing the comments, but the mention of the oval pot that it's in is correct in terms of its length and width. The problem is it's a little bit too deep. Perhaps the feet are too heavy on the oval. See how the feet are heavier than normal?
Yes.
And that tends to make the pot look a little bit heavier.
Yes. And
I'm being very picayunish about my comments.
yes, and on what you said, I agree with you. First of all, the lip is too big. Too wide, and it is deep. It makes it even deeper because once you come here and go up, and then you have this lip that are outer lip bigger and stuff like that. So when you change it to here, a little bit smaller lip, but not as tall. It's totally different. But if I can find a pot that it's much lower and a smaller lip, that's what I would buy.
You don't want to downsize the length of the oval
No, it's
because then
yeah.
the tree is too wide for that
Yes.
size.
Because if you put it too narrow, then it looks it doesn't look natural. Yeah, and like what I said, this one here it's almost the same, but the only thing I don't like is the corner, and a lot of the trees are either rectangular, oval, round, and you never put this in a eight-sided pot. Never. Yes.
I appreciate that. I've got a whole garage full of pots, and I never have the right one.
I have to visit you.
Oh, you have the same thing. But when you're trying to make that decision for the show,
Yes.
don't you feel comfortable with the one that it's in for the show right now? Because
For-
if you don't have anything that's better.
Yes. Let's say if I was the show chairman like that, I would take this. But what I would do something in such a way that you'll take your eyes on the pot.
But we're gonna look at your needles, we're not gonna look at your pot.
Well, that's my point. So if I can take your eyes on take your eyes on the needles, it's probably better. But see, showing a tree is not just the pot itself. If you find the correct pot, so shopping for the pot for the tree itself begins before the show. You know, if you come down to like a GSBF and stuff like that, if you see one that you like, then find it. Buy it. Or if you see somebody that has it, maybe he can lend it to you. Just like a pot that I use when there's a show. After the show, I take him out. So this pot here is only for maybe for 5 days or 2 days, whatever the show, and then I I re-put the other pot.
I read of that being done, especially in the big shows. Do a lot of people do that?
I mean, you know, Fred Miyara in Japan, I do believe they even red pots.
Well, prices of them.
Yeah, because some of those pots, if your tree is going to Coco Foten, you can't buy pots like this. It's got to be an antique pot, a pot that has a name, and collected by so and so. So it's all about the pot that you put. Sometimes the pot costs more than a tree. But we are here in this level that we can't be like that with them. But it is true. The harmony is between the tree and the pot itself. They have to talk to each other and not like the other way around. It's not like, what I'm saying is not like the pot, your eyes goes to the pot first before your tree. And sometimes that happens. You know, in fact, there's another pot here, which is smaller. What do you think? For me, it's okay if you put it in one show and then put it back like that. But what it does is it makes the tree wider, and then the next time you look at the tree is the trunk, and the trunk is all about this big. You know, so it conflicts with the other one, and this one here, it's a little bit bigger, but you know, like what I said, we can find a little bit shorter and same size and everything with a lip not as wide as like this, that it would be fine. You know, but like what I said, don't start thinking of showing a week before the show. And sometimes when I do, I see a lot of pictures from other shows and stuff like that. I tend to learn from it also, like, oh gee, look what happened. Do not just grab something like a stand that doesn't fit on it.
Color of the pot has something to do with it.
Yes. See, you notice the color of this pot here? It looks like antique, but it's not. So, and I think also sometimes when you're showing a tree, it's all about what you have. But you know, if you study it right and stuff like that, it's one of those things that, like now I make pots and I still buy some. And you know, it's like all this I made, it's not there what I'm looking for. You know, but it's a plus. I mean, so I start selling them so I can buy. Where's that pot? See, there's something in this Japanese pot that attracts us. It is the color, the patina on there. This is like not a brand new, it's a gold. And look at the quality on it. So when I was handing it to somebody, I was like, okay, don't drop it. And look at the color of these. It is hard to find a patina like this. At the same time, the coloring is gradual, kind of dark. But it's not only that. Let's say you got the pot. Now what's next? of course, you have to put moss on it, right? Now, anybody here grow moss for the show, or you just buy it or something? 'Cause I don't think people sell them. I mean, there are some. And, well, do you guys collect them? That's a good one.
I find it all over in the parks.
Yes.
Taking old credit cards.
And what I do is, there's a big church where I live, very, very close, about 5 minutes away. And when they water, there's no restrictions, right? 2 hours, just let it run. Of course, they puddle up, next thing you know, all that moss is gonna grow. Well, one time I got caught. And I go, what are you doing? Oh, I'm collecting moss. It is the best moss that I could find. It's made by God. And he goes, oh, I got that. I go, oh, just those. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. They have more over there on the back. And that's how I met him. And sure enough, every time I go there, and they say, oh, hi, you forgot the other side. See, all you have to do is act like normal and not like, you know. And one time also I was at Dennis. At the parking lot, there's a lot around the sidewalk. There's all kinds of stuff growing. And they are the good one too. Short and green. Kind of like bow tie. All you have to do is simply get your credit card and you go like this and boom, take off. Right? Is that stealing? That's public. What I consider stealing is like getting it from another bonsai and put it in yours. That's stealing. But like what I said, you can go to any nursery and ask them politely. You know, there's some moss growing by the side, in between trees. Can I collect them, stuff like that? But I'm buying a tree from you guys, and they'll say, oh, okay. So that's next. You notice that when you put moss after the show, they turn brown like this? Because pines normally you should have them outside and they should be full sun. Once you put them underneath something, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna have problems with your pine, but you won't have problems with your moss because you have a green moss. But the pine is not it won't do well with shaded for a long time. So once you get the moss, then what's next? Now, let me ask you this. At this club during the show, can you show with wires on?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Some other clubs are very picky. And I thought it's all about bonsai, right? So when they do you get like -10 points if there's wire on it? Because if that was the case, this tree here will never be in show in 10 years, right? So I think it is better if it's wire right. Not crisscrossing and not big wires. I mean, what I'm talking about is not like big wires, like big wires. When I say big, that means as soon as you walk in, it stands up. Those kinds, And if it's not crisscrossing, it's done right. Why not? I've seen California bonsai books. I see wires on it. Even in Japan when I was there, that's the first thing I looked at. In fact, I was in Santa Rosa. I believe it was Gordon Diggs' house, and I was going like this to a big black pine, and the guy on right next, the guy on the other side was Kathy Chainer's sensei. What's his name? Mitsuya. And I was going like this, checking this big trunk because it's so massive and it was about this high. He looked at me because he doesn't speak English. So he looked at me and went like this. And you know what that means? Like, don't touch it? No. There was wire, but what he meant is there's no cut, there's no chop. So it can't be grown here. So I asked Harry, no cut? Yeah, that's Japan. Imported. But those were the days where we can bring trees, but now it's limited to none. Don't even try it. I work for the post office. I may get you a tree. No. Yeah, don't even try it because I've seen them when they process them. If they ever find out that it is your tree, post inspector might come visit your garden. Any tree that look like what they have, they can confiscate it. So if they find a small tree like this, a pine, they see a big one, oh, that's Japan. Yeah, but I've seen people do it and they're brave. But please don't do it. Too much hassle. There's so many here, it's just a matter of doing it the right way. Believe it or not, I've been doing bonsai for what, 12 years? And that is no lie, 12 years. Because even Harry told me, Peter, I think you're lying to me. Maybe you're doing bonsai in the Philippines, but not telling us. No, Harry. I went to sign up in your club because I want to go dig it. You know what he did? He went like this. Yeah, that's his way of saying, yeah, right. Okay, so the next one is stand. I brought this one. I believe I got this Japanese guy that passed away. Now I forgot his name. And he was a good friend until he died. His wife is Linda. I forgot his last name. Well, anyway, and she was selling it very, very cheap, and I purchased it because I need stamp for my trees and stuff like that. Especially when I started doing the show chair, I ended up buying stand real quick because there's a lot of people that doesn't have stand. They just bring the tree, no accent plant. So what I do every show is I end up bring like 10 accent plants, and when I see all kinds of plants that are like succulent and stuff like that, I try to put one from here, not everything, right next to each other. So it is hard for those people that are doing show chair, make sure that I keep an eye on something like that because it's going to happen, and you don't want to change all that stuff right away when you're there on the same show and you're trying to finish everything in one day, because it is hard. What about this stand? What do you think with this? By the way, you know what's this for? I heard my softball. It's Tuesday, but not lifting heavy. I was changing a roll of paper on my printer at work. And so when my boss finds out I was going to the hospital, right away she goes, let me do an investigative reports. But it is, you take it for granted. The printer is so small, so I lift my arm to take it up because there's two levers to close it. Doing that, it popped. Something popped. Like, how like, nothing like that. And my boss said, what? Mom, I'll do it. And she was going, yeah, you're right. But still, when he said, I'm going to do an investigative report, like, gee, think I'm trying to, like, I'm lying. But what I told her, yeah, you pissed me off, maybe I might not come back. So I laid the dagger because she knows that I can retire if I want to, but I'm too young.
That's right.
Now, what do you think? Would I show this with this stand? What's the rule? This will not go over the line, right? Vice versa on the back. But what if I don't have a stand like this? Can I bring what do you call the burl? Like a redwood burl?
Slap.
Yeah, a slab. Anybody ever do that? I see a lot of them. But that tells you who the artist is. Like what I said, if you don't have it, find a way to get one, a decent one. But if you don't have one, then yeah. But there's always the next one. Okay, I was told that, that doesn't go with this and that like that. But the only thing I don't get it is that, let's say it was a slab. Well, how thick is the slab? Like this is okay? Boy, that's firewood.
Yeah.
It ended up a bonsai show, right? So, I mean, slab like this is okay, but not like real thick. I've seen one. Sometimes they even use on an accent plant. So thick. I would rather get the bamboo mat, But then again, I've seen bamboos that are very thin. Antique ones are very expensive. So it's all about what you can afford. But this hobby is not taking me to, like I can save up. Like all I want is like, it's gonna cost money. But I think is that if you can buy one like this and have a lot of trees that would fit the stand like that, it's fine. You can reuse it like that. And because when you have a tree like this, your stand has to have something that can support it. You don't want something that is like, sagging or anything like that. And if you have a shorter tree like this, and if you put it on a table like this, and the person that's looking at it is going like that, it should be an eye level. Well, you guys up there and looking up, it's totally different when you see it like eye level, something like that. So what I'm saying is plan ahead. So if you have the correct display table like that, then there's another one. What about the complement plant that you're gonna put? Believe me, I brought so much stuff in here, collected all this time, and see, I even make root stand. And my teacher told me, Peter, can you make one like this? And I go, wow, I'll see. You know why I ended up so many of these? During the show, I bring this because everybody don't have the right stand for it. That's like it takes a lot of effort for the person doing it. But what I did is I have other people working with me also. Hey, bring yours because I have so much. I will fill my truck and stuff like that with everything. See? And then you ended up with, after all that, and then you'll go, oh, this one will work. That happens. This is neutral. Okay. What about a rock, like a slab, or anybody ever use that? I'm not trying to pick anyone here, but those are the ones that I see. But if you can get this kind of burl, I know when you go to like a big convention like that, you find Bob Shyman sells a lot of these, and you can use it to the big trees. You can use it on shohin, but not like a slab that are so thick. I didn't bring mine. I forgot, but the ones I have is like this. It is actually it is a very, very nice one because it was what's in it was a clock. Real nice burl, but it's just too thick. And Harry one time told me, Peter, where'd you get that? It's thick. Oh, it's a clock. And so you take my accent plan and there's a hole right there. So. Or,
Peter, how big a slab would you put on the black line?
what was that?
How big of a slab would you put
On these, let's say if you don't have these,
Yes.
if you can get them cut like this,
Inch and a half.
you mean
About as thick as the table that it's sitting on.
no, you can make it, well, when I say slab, make it in such a way like a burl, they cut it on a big burl, stuff like that, but about that thicker. I also seen people does plank of wood about an inch, and they do it staggered, like one right there, and then the next one would be like this, so it comes out like, longer, vice versa. That I've seen a lot of people do that. In fact, Al Nelson makes a lot of those things. Part of the reason is that the display table, when it gets bigger, it is hard to find and it costs so much. And so when I see them during the auction, sometimes like that, I see this is clay, ceramics, and I always come prepared when I do the shows. My favorite ones are these. The show is done in 2 days. But one beginner guy said, Peter, you're using that? The tree's not going to die? What do you think me I'm going to do? Like spray it like that? No, this is just to if somebody brings somebody this is one of these ones to clean a pot. Emergency, just go like this. This is how I pull it in my shelves. See how? And if you come back again, it won't be as shiny. Better than nothing that is being done. The other one is for the, actually this is wood polish conditioner. I think I bought them from Ace Hardware store. And don't put too much, otherwise, and what it does is that, see how See how it retains the, yeah, and
Either can you come to a show?
by the way, I'll be here at the show. No, I mean, this is very cheap. I always have them when there's a show. Because some of those things, if you have a pot that needs to be cleaned over out with hard water on it, believe me, it's not easy. Maybe you can buy a CLR. Maybe buy a gallon and buy one of those black tub and dose it with that leave it there for a whole week. Maybe. I've seen, yes.
Sometimes we bring the tree to show whatever has a watermark and use it with the watermark.
Yes. I've seen people, they the fresh one. Yeah, yes. Harry uses one of those. But I find this very easy. And like what I said, it may stay there for 2 days. That's after the show. And also I use it every now and then because otherwise, if you don't do it, if you don't touch it with your pot that is on the shelf like that, then it's going to collect. But never do it here. I mean, you can do it, but make sure you. Otherwise, when you keep doing it like that, you may get to the soil and stuff like that. Then, but then again, if it gets there and then something went wrong with the plant, hey, it might be a new kind of way of doing bonsai. Like what happened to, I don't know if it's true or not, but Chinese guy that sells a succulent, cork succulent, and he said that he accidentally used DDT or something like that, and it's one of those pesticide.
Yeah.
The effect is like that, But okay, so these are the stuff what I use, and actually this one, the very cheap. I don't know who makes them. Oh, it came from Kumai. I remember when Kate Kumai passed away, she had a lot of the trees, not trees, all of the pots and stones and stuff like that. She put it up on sale, and these were very, very cheap. I think these were like $1 a piece. You buy two, one extra, and so these are like emergency. It's stuff that are like these, then you're gonna pay the price for it. But they're not cheap, they're not $50. Yeah. And if you buy them at House of Bonsai, just check your receipt.
Do you have some tip for us how to make the California juniper the white, shiny, and the brown get visible?
What was the question again?
For the California juniper, we wanted the dead wood to become white and then the brown wood, the live part become more visible.
Well, what I do in mine on California juniper, when you want the bark, the natural bark is reddish, but that's not true. Okay, because I use something else when I do mine. How about acrylic paint? A little bit of brown, a little bit of this, to make it more stands up. And then the white part is limestone. But I don't want the very, very white one.
Peter, what did you say you used on the red or the?
Acrylic, acrylic paint. Yeah.
On the red, on the black part?
Yes, but what I do is I put them like very low, a little bit, and then what I do is I go like this, just to put highlight it.
So you put some on a rag and
Yes.
then
Highlight.
you wipe the bark.
Actually, this one here, this is out of California. This is a Prostrata. I got this from a guy named Nino Wynn. He gave me 6 of these in pots, brought up Mickey, because he can't bend them. And so I gave him my bonsai first, and I got 6. And I grafted it, 4 grafts. You know, and all this stuff that happens here, they were covered with cambium. So I fill them off, kill the rest, to look like they're a collector. And
I heard somebody using shoe polish on the once they got the bark clean. they use
Oh, how about-
to make it
how about oil?
darker.
How about oil just before the show? But if you're gonna do that, don't use oil. Because the person I was doing it, I asked him, really, oil? What brand?
Olive oil.
No, he told me canola. There is another type of thing that you can buy. This is what you call a leaf shine. If you buy it, let's say the bottles are about this much. Take half, put water on it, so it will be like the whole thing, and then maybe spray with that. That's what I use when I show my bonsai. So there's a lot of trick of the trade, but people sometimes they don't tell you what they do, but you just see them, wow, how did they do that? Yes. And so what else?
What kind of a tree would you put in that tall one?
And I have a showing rack. And oh, that's the wrong side. Yes. And do you know what kind of tree is this? It's not a tree, it's a vine. It has a red fruit. Any wild guess? They're koji berry. And since they're vine, they get a whole bunch of them and grow them all together, wrap it around, and that's what it's for. And when you get to the side curve and stuff like that, they cut it, and it would buck back anywhere. See, I'm just. And what about this one? Are you guys satisfied with this? What if I use this? If I use this pot, would it make the tree better? It makes the tree more heavy. But the pot is real nice. How I wish it was like shorter. And this one here It's very, very simple. And like what I said, you don't want to take away anything from the tree because your pot is so nice. You want to do it plain and simple. Also, when repotting, the old way, they always put centered. Most of the time now they put off-centered. And that's the first thing I see it during, shows and stuff like that. A lot of them are, off-centered. And
Peter,
yes,
the sea that you see on the idol, I see that between the branch on your side and in the back, it should be in the back a little shorter than you see.
sure. You mean this one?
Yes.
Maybe if it's wide right, like
A
this.
little bit that you see the distance between the
Yeah.
branch and the top.
And like what I said, I can't even think if I haven't shown this tree yet.
You get it?
Yeah. And like on my trees, sometimes if I don't feel like they're not there yet, as you notice, the path is still, not there. But sometimes if I ever do show, if it's a small show like that, I kind of test the public and see what your reaction is. That's what I do. But it's getting there. Using graph, I think this is what, 6 years? I wish I did 100 of them. I would have a lot of money, right?
You still have time.
That's what Harry said. Yeah, because before I never thought of that, but now I'm into Shohin. Even collecting with Harry before, now I collect Shohin. What? You're into Shohin? If you want Shohin, go over on the other side. So I always go on the other side. And anybody comes with me, everybody's looking for trees like this. I'm here like, get out of my tree. You're sitting on it. But ever since I got into the small trees like this, it is very, very easy. Once you learn how to graph, there's people here who knows how to teach you how to graph. You find the trunk, put it 3 or 4 graph on it. Sometimes all you need is just one graph and let it go and then style it. And I didn't bring Eddie. Not this one. I didn't bring any juniper. By the way, that pot that I was showing you, this is the one. I have another one a little bit bigger. That's the one I was using.
Some of us became and saw your beautiful collection. How many shohi you have?
This is coming from Mark's Blasingate. She counted it, and when she got down to 100, she stopped counting. Peter, there's a lot. Well, let me give you a wild guess. The wood that I use, it's 12 by 10. Okay, I have 5 layers. And from that side all the way to the other side, so I have 6 of those. So it's like 60 foot. And it's full.
I took a picture and I found the picture over 200 I
Oh,
I did the same thing, Peter. You got probably 200.
but that's just the one sitting on yeah. And then,
so how you water this?
what was that?
How you water is taking care of because shohi
I have-
is hot.
I have a drip system and then overhead. And some of my trees, see, I work very, very close. It takes me about a good 10 minutes to go home. At lunch, I hurry up just like in military, 15 minutes. So I got 15 minutes to water my trees. And I can tell if somebody put another one and it's missing, you know, and it's one of those things that every time I see one, oh gee. In fact, I was there. I even put my name on some of those. And then yesterday or 3 days ago, I met a guy through internet. He was selling all of his trees. The sale was yesterday and today. Well, guess what? I went there 3 days earlier. And Roy Nagatushi did our program last night, and he said, Peter, you clean us up. I only got 2. How many did you get? Oh, I didn't know you were going to get it there, so otherwise I'm going to save you some more. And I bought 15 cork oak intended for show and convention 2 years from now. I mean, how can you not buy those? He only wants $30 a piece, and they're about this tall. Maybe by the time I get home, tomorrow's a holiday. I'll whack everything and start all over. I have 2 years to rebuild it.
Was that the oak guy?
What?
Was that the oak guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go there.
Good luck.
Don't bother.
Too late now.
Don't bother.
I'll send you the pictures. How the side looked like it is empty.
Yeah, he's gonna be at the Bonsai Foundation.
And it was so cheap
He's got 2 trees.
that an olive this wide and tapered nice, $60. So there's something wrong. He wanted to sell everything. I don't know if it's moving or what.
Oh, he had a heart attack. He needed to scale back.
No, I don't think he had a heart attack. He's okay. Yeah. He even told me where to dig grapes. So this guy, he knows a lot of places. All he does is call. And I even told them, you know what? Well, how about putting trident maples, you know, rows and rows and But then again, what I was telling that, 2 deer came in. Just walking to the side of the, gee, there's deer here? No wonder all your elms are all defoliated. You know, and his elm, if you buy one of those, $30, you can make 3 grafts and maybe get 10 root cutting, and the root cutting is part of it this big. They will go in a circle in a 15-gallon pot. Yes. So.
Send us the address before you go.
It's on the internet. Any more questions?
On some of the shohi seed that he shows, they're these massive trunks and itty bitty little pots. And granted, the plant is small. Is there some type of proportion rule to use, or is it you got a nice tree, jam it in a small spot?
Majority of the proportion of what we do is that, just like the GSBF, showing, you know, they have a contest, the best showing. It says there, less than 10 inches. Like what? What happened to the 8 inches and below?
Yeah, we argued about that.
So they're so fired up at less than 10 inches. Boy, you can put a whole bunch of showing at that point. But mine, I practiced the 8. You know.
Is that from the soil up to the top of the plant?
Yeah,
or
that's
the bottom of the pot?
From here,
From the soil level.
But mostly what I see, yours is less than 6.
if it's more than 8, just
It's been shot.
no. Like what I said, you can do a lot of those things if you know how to graph. And it's getting hotter and hotter, so maybe a week from now it's slim to me. And there are some people here that went to my class way back, maybe 2 months ago, something like that. And I show them how I do my junipers and pines, how I twist them rural, you know. But it's just one of those things that you gotta do it. Some people just think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, but do it now. By the time you go back, it's too late.
When is now for that, for twisting?
The twisting,
Yeah.
now,
Now,
if you have the you know, the whips, you know,
this is November through March.
like Iragawa and Kishu, I'm averaging like about 500 or more whips a year. Yes.
Could you show us how to put things on the showing stand, please? I know.
This is a showing rack with 3 trees. On showing, like the 5-tree stand, the top is always either juniper or pines or anything that grows higher. So when you have a Rocky Mountain juniper, it is a juniper or pine. So
Here, here,
yes,
is that necessary when you put the showing of this kind of stand, put another stand underneath or not?
here,
No, under the
Under
tree.
what do you mean?
Another small stand
Another
underneath.
small stand.
Yes. And part of the purpose of the stand is to bring the tree up higher. You don't want this tree here. You put a stand same level, almost same level at. Well, that's what it does.
Too much.
And if you put it this way, it's too much. Maybe you can put,
Like you are saying, in the pine tree, you don't need any stand.
no, it's optional. And you can do it this way if you wanna make it a little bit taller. But the key here, how you organize the tree. The tree, this tree should be talking to this one. And the tree cannot be shown like this because it's talking to the accent plant. Wherein, you know, and here it's neutral, plumb, like that. And then if you put a side accent plant, then the whole thing changes too. Because that tree, the whole stand is talking to that side plant, which is pointing that way, like that. So, and guess what? They're so small, you can bring all your trees in one box, right? Why get all this big stand and so on like that? I think I'm getting ready because I'm getting older. And in fact, there's a workshop after this demo with the showing group here. And I'm so glad that there is another showing club that is very, very active. And I think San Diego doing it like that, I think they're doing a good job. And like what I said, I'm here, I'm there, I'll help you guys. I'm planning to go to the show, and you guys have the show and stuff like that, you know, because, you know, it's all about sharing. I don't wanna, like keep all this inside of me. If I can teach every single one of you guys, I would. But there's a lot of techniques that you can do to advance like that. And yes. Okay. Let me. Can somebody help me put this away? Mhm. How's that?
You ever put an accent on the bottom shelf or a stone?
What's that again?
Do you ever put an accent or a stone on the bottom shelf?
No. On this
So
one?
it'll stay empty.
No. I would rather put so it's like a rock or a hut.
A little figure or a.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes if you have like, let's say a grasshopper. So finding one is very, very hard. But show something,
Live one? With a
But-
little neck.
but show something that is current to the condition what you see around you. And on here, you can actually put a pot, a very short, round pot with green foliage, small ones, defecting, like what do you call spring, and birdie coming out. Because I do it in the winter time, on a winter silhouette. What I do is that, like in the fall, Nampukai, what I do is I put leaves of trident maple with the color, you know, and you know. But this tree here is one of the hardest to put a pot with this kind. This is a Princess Persimmon. They're last left because it's probably going to turn brown within a week, and they're already popping. And to buy one, the bigger one, the full, it costs more, but this is okay.
Here, when you look at the tree, where the top of the leaf, you look at the whole tree, or you just look at the facing the trunk?
Yes. Yes, I'm gonna, when you set up a showing like this, you're looking at the first bend of the truck. Thanks for catching it. See this? So it goes this way. But the foliage and everything, and it also shows on the bigger tree, whatever the first bend, shows where the accent plan is. And that's basically a lot of the, I'd say 85% of the mistakes on showing. Look at the trunk first. What's the movement of the trunk? Cover that. If it's going this way, then the flow of the tree is going this way. But if you turn it around and like, say like this, then it's different. But now everything's all white. If you have a pine that it should have been going that way, then what do you guys do? Turn the stand. Then the rest will go out of whack. Because if you turn the stand, what about this one? So now it's going to be like this. It's not talking to this. Yeah. Now you know why I ended up with a lot of trees. Right?
So you might need 8 or 10 trees to make it.
Yes.
To make a signal.
But what I'm trying to do is like, hey, if you guys want to put up a good show, if you have 2 trees, he has 3 trees, why combine everything just to put up a good show? That's what I do. I teach bonsai at my house. When there's a show, I go, okay, you get the top, you get this, I got this. You know the effect of that on the students? They get all excited, my tree's there. It's not Peter's showing you. And that's what I want. I want to share.